So, dear students, so today our topic is cardiac output and cardiac cycle. So, already you know, so our heart is pump the blood about 5 liter per minute approximately. Okay, so our heart can pump the blood around 5 liter per minute. So, that was known as a cardiac output. And each and every beat, it consists of the series of events: relaxation, contractions, filling, refilling, ejaculation, like that. So various events, so they are present in the each beat. So that study of events in each beat, so that was known as the cardiac cycle. So first we learn about cardiac output. So cardiac output, it is the volume of blood pumped from the each ventricle, that is per minute, or the volume of blood ejected from the left ventricle or right ventricle into the aorta or pulmonary trunk from each minute is known as a cardiac output. Okay, so your left ventricle, so they can pump the pure blood to the aorta. From the aorta, so that blood can enter in the systemic circulations. So regarding the right ventricle, it can pump the blood to the pulmonary trunk or pulmonary artery. From the pulmonary artery, so that blood can enter in the lungs for oxygenation purpose. Okay, that is the to give the carbon dioxide and to gain the oxygen. So that process is occurs in the lungs. Okay, so water the blood, so that can pumped by the left ventricle and right ventricle to the aorta and as well as pulmonary trunk. That was the most important. So that was known as cardiac output. And cardiac output is most important because so that cardiac output, if it is maintaining per 5 liter per minute, means it is helpful for overall growth of the organs or to fulfill the demand of the organs. So that demand of the organ, so that can fulfilled by, so with the help of the systemic circulation or with the help of the blood. So when the blood can enter in the our circulation or systemic circulation along with the nutrition, so that circulations of blood is mainly depending upon the cardiac output. And here the cardiac output, it is calculated by cardiac output is calculated by, that is the cardiac output, the unit is ml per minute. So cardiac output is equal to stroke volume into heart rate. Okay, cardiac output, it was calculated by the volume of the blood ejaculated per beat. Okay, volume of blood in ml ejaculated per beat from the respective ventricle into the arteries or aorta. Okay, so that was known as the stroke volume multiplied by, that is the number of heart rate per minutes or beats per minute. So then you can got the cardiac output. So that's why the cardiac output is calculated by the volume of the blood ejaculated by the ventricles during each contraction, that was multiplied by number of heart beats per minute. So that, then we can got the how much of the blood that was ejaculated or ejected from the each ventricles. Okay, or it can enter in the respective ventricles. So that was known as the cardiac output. So that's why the cardiac output unit is the ml per minutes and is calculated by stroke volume into heart rate. And stroke volume, its unit is ml per beat. The stroke volume, it is the volume of blood ejected by the ventricle during each contractions or each beat. So how much ml of blood, so that can enter from left ventricle to the aorta, so regarding the oxygenated blood, or right ventricle to the pulmonary artery per beat. So that was known as the stroke volume. So already you know the stroke volume is fixed in the healthy individual. It is always that is the 70 ml. Okay, our heart, if the person was healthy, okay, so that healthy person, so the stroke volume is a constant. But the stroke volume is also changes due to exercise or physical activity or physical exertions. So where the demand of the organ was increases continuously, so they require the oxygen as compared to normal behavior or normal life. During the exercise, the demand of the oxygen and nutrition by the muscle was increases. So due to that, so those people are athletics. So for them, so their stroke volume is varies. So they are having the maximum that is around 130 ml per beat. That was the stroke volume in the athletic peoples. So that is one of the natural phenomena, so that the demand of the muscles was fulfilled in the athletics. But in normal individuals, the stroke volume is a constant. It is calculated by ml per beat. That should be the 70 ml per beat, and remaining the 60 ml will be left in the respective ventricles. And it was when it was multiplied by heartbeat, the heart rate, that is heart rate is nothing but contraction and relaxations. Okay, each contraction and relaxation is considered as a one heart rate or beat. So how much time the heart can be contracted and relaxations per minute, so that was denoted as a heart rate. Okay, and here the stroke volume is constant, it never change, but the heart rate is varies, maybe decreases, maybe increases, maybe normal. So that's why the cardiac output is directly proportional to the heart rate, because here the stroke volume is constant. So the cardiac increase cardiac output, decrease cardiac output, so that was mainly depending upon the number of heart rate or beats per minute. So that's why, so when you are start to running or you are start to exercise, so when you are more alert, so on when the demand of organ was increased, mean automatically you can feel the your heart rate. In normally you never feel, so your heart rate, okay, yeah, that is the beating of the heart. So when any dog is followed to you, so when you start to running, automatically you can run the more speed than the dog. Okay, then you reach the safe area. So after reaching the safe area, you can feeling, so your heart rate was increases. On that time you feel some organ was beaten in my chest or thoracic cavity, so that is the heart rate. Okay, because so during the running, okay, so automatically the demand of oxygen or blood in the leg was increases. So that was fulfilled, or that cardiac output was fulfilled body or CNS by enhancing the heart rate, because the stroke volume is constant. When the heart is beat means it can pump the 70 ml blood only, but we need more cardiac output. We need more than 5 liters cardiac output to fulfill the demand of the leg. Otherwise we can fall down, then that dog will be the beaten to us. But it is not possible whenever you will be having the good blood supply to your leg. So that's why you can run fastly more than the dog. So that is the depending of that performance was depending upon the cardiac output supplied to the your legs, and that cardiac output was depending upon the number of beats per minute. So that's why the cardiac output is directly proportional to the heart rate. Okay, so when demand is decreases, automatically our heart rate is decreases. When demand is increases, automatically the heart rate increases. Then like that, normally our brain, our CNS, our sensor receptor, so they are adjust the cardiac output through by adjusting the number of beats per minute. So the formula for the cardiac output is CO is equal to SV into the heart rate. CO means cardiac output. Its unit is the ml per minute. You should be remember. And stroke volume, that is SV means stroke volume. It is the ml per beat. Then heart rate, that is the HR, that is the beats per minute. And cardiac output is calculated with the help of the electrocardiograph, echo, and as well as droplet methods. Okay, as well as droplet method, that is the 2D droplet methods are there, 3D say echo is there, 2D echo is there. So these all are advanced instrument, so they are helpful for to calculate the cardiac output. So that was give some clue regarding the how your left ventricle or right ventricle is contracted, because the contractions of left ventricle is most important. Okay, so that was depending upon the pressure generated in the left ventricle. So if any hypertrophy or any injury to the left ventricle, then there is not possible to contract. So on that time automatically the pressure was increases. So normal pressure in the left ventricle is 130 mmHg. So due to hypertrophy or swelling, so where the pressure required more, so then automatically the pressure is increased. So where the doctors with the help of cardiac output or 2D, 3D and droplet method, so they can calculate the cardiac output, and according to cardiac output, so they should be know what is the reason for the hypertension. So here for example, in a typical resting adult or healthy person, so the adult male, so the stroke volume is 70 ml per beat, and the heart rate is a 75 beats per minute. So it is an average worldwide. If the person having 70 kg, particular certain weight, okay, and as well as certain height, so that healthy person according to the WHO definitions, so that healthy adult they will be having the stroke volume and average 70 ml per minute, and the heart rate is 75 beats per minute. So therefore, so the cardiac output is equal to, that is the 70 into 75. So like that, if you have multiplied 70 by 75 means you can got the answer. There is 5250 ml per minute, or that is 5 5 liter per minute. So that is the cardiac output of our heart. So our heart can pump the 5 liter per minute. So like that, for 10 hours, so that should be the 5 into 10, that is 50 liter. For 20 hours, so that should be the 5 into 20, so that should be 100 liter. Then remaining 4 hours, so that should be another 20. That is, our heart can be pumped per day, that is around 120 liter of the blood per minute. That is the capacity of a small heart. It weighing between 300 to 400 gram or 250 to 350 grams. So that heart capacity per day, it can pump around 120 liter per day. So that is our the capacity of our heart. So that was known as the cardiac output, and good cardiac output is necessary for to maintain the to helpful for the growth of the organs and body as well as the tissues. But actually the cardiac output is around 5 liters per minute. If it is calculated for 24 hours or per day means it is around 120 liters per day. So that was the capacity of our heart. Okay, so next one we learn regarding the factors which can affect the cardiac output. Okay, so here, so what are the factors which can regulate the heart rate and stroke volume? So they also helpful for to determine the cardiac output, or it can affect the cardiac output. So first we learn, so regarding the factors, so that can affect the heart rate. Okay, heart rate, that is the beats per minute. Beats nothing but contraction and relaxations of the cardiac muscle. That was considered as one beat. So per minute, how much time the cardiac muscles are contracted or as well as relaxed. So that was known as a heart rate. So heart rate is directly proportional to the cardiac output. So as the heart rate increases, the cardiac output increases. So as the heart rate decreases, the cardiac output is also decreases. So that's why, so our heart rate, so that was regulated, so that was depending upon the various factors. So regarding that is the autonomic inversions. So that is the nothing but that is the cholinergic system as well as the adrenergic system. So the autonomic nervous system, it consists of two systems, parasympathomimetic system as well as sympathomimetic system. Okay, suppose if the sympathetic system activity was increases, sympathetic system is also known as the adrenergic system. If the sympathetic system activity was increased, means automatically the heart rate is increases, and sympathetic activity was increases during increase the intake of salt or due to excitations or due to stress. So if the persons are under stress, if the persons are under the anxiety, that is a fear, or the persons are more exercise, okay, automatically our brain can activate the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, sympathetic nervous system, it is a part of the autonomic nervous system, so that was located in the hypothalamus. Okay, so due to increase the sympathetic activity, automatically the heart rate is increases. And opposite system, so that was known as the parasympathomimetic system. If this system was activated, means the heart rate is decreases. Okay, if the parasympathomimetic system is activated from the ANS, means the heart rate is decreases. If this instead of parasympathomimetic, if the sympathetic system was activated, means the heart rate is increases. And sympathetic nervous system is also known as the adrenal system, and parasympathetic system is also known as a cholinergic systems. Okay, for example, so during examinations, your brain was sharp. So whatever you can read, so that you can remember up to the examinations. After examination 4 hours, everything you can be left. Okay, you cannot remember. Okay, but up to the exam, so whatever you read during examination, so when you seeing your hall ticket or timetable on the exam board, automatically your brain is activated. So then all should be you can remember. So that is the work of the parasympathetic nervous system in the brain. Okay, it can releases the acetylcholine. So that acetylcholine is helpful for to improve the memory power. Okay, same acetylcholine, it is a part of parasympathetic nervous system. If it is acts on the heart, mean it can decrease the heart rate. So that's why. So during the examinations, during the preparations of examinations, so where you can suffering from the loss of conscious, because your brain is too sharp. So due to that, the acetylcholine level is more, and same acetylcholine is acts on the peripheral nervous system on the heart. Then automatically the heart rate decreases. The demand of organs was not fulfilled, especially brain, and due to that, the brain can got the less glucose and oxygen. Then loss of conscious is occurs. It is the common in the during the examinations. Okay, it is not common in the daily life. Only during the examination it is the commons. Okay, because of the it is one of the example for the how the our organs can be depending upon the autonomic nervous system. So here the heart rate is mainly depending upon the our heart rate can regulated by the autonomic inversions. It consists of two systems, sympathetic, parasympathetic. If sympathetic system activated, means the heart rate increases. If parasympathetic activated, means the heart rate is decreases. Another one is a hormones. So hormones like adrenaline, noradrenaline. So these are the hormones of sympathetic nervous system, and these hormones are released during the stress or during the excitations. Okay, so then these hormones are responsible for to increase the heart rate, and others like cations like calcium and sodium. So these are also increase the heart rate. And again another that is the potassium, it was responsible to decreases the heart rate. So like that various hormones and electrolytes, so those are also involved in the regulations of the heart rate. Our heart rate, our cardiac output is also depending upon the hormones like adrenaline, noradrenaline, and as well as the electrolytes like sodium, calcium, potassium. In our body, if the adrenaline level is increases, means our heart rate is increases, cardiac output is also increases. If NOD level is increases means the heart rate is increases as well as cardiac output increases. If sodium calcium level is increases means the heart rate is increases as well as the cardiac output increases. If the potassium level is increased means the heart rate is decreases as well as the cardiac output is decreased. So like that, the hormones is also responsible for regulations of the heart rate as well as the cardiac output. So next one, that is the fitness level. If the fitness level good means, if they are healthy means the heart rate is normal. If the person was unhealthy or anemic, then also the heart rate is increases. If the persons are more exercise, if the athletics, then also the heart rate is increases due to the exercise only. Okay, during exercise only the heart rate increases, but overall they should be the normal. But regarding the fitness, if the person was illness or having any disease conditions, so on that time the heart rate increases and as well as the cardiac output is increases. So normal healthy cardiac output, it was also depending upon the fitness level of that particular persons. Another one is the age. So as the age is going on, the malfunction was taken plus the heart rate is increases. Okay, so next one is the factors which can affect or regulate the stroke volume. That one is the heart size. So as the size increases, the heart can be more filled and powerful contractions occurs, then stroke volume is increases. Then fitness level, so those are athletics, so the stroke volume is increased. Regarding the gender, so male having more cardiac output as compared to the female. So next one is the contractility. Okay, if the quantity is increases, the stroke volume increases. If the quantity is decreases, then stroke volume is decreases and cardiac output. The quantity means nothing but contractions power of the myocardium. If the powerful contraction occurs or positive inotropic effect is occurs means the stroke volume is increases. If the negative inotropic effect is occurs means the cardiac output as well as the stroke volume is decreases. And as well as the stroke volume is also depending upon the duration of contraction. If it is shorter duration means shorter ml of blood entering the arteries. The longer durations of contraction means the more blood can enter in the respective arteries, that is the aorta as well as the pulmonary trunk. So that's why the stroke volume, then cardiac output, so they are also depending upon the duration of the contractions of the ventricles. Next one is the preload. It was also known as a EDV, that is end diastolic volume. That is nothing but the degree of stretch before the hearts can be contract. How much the ventricles are relaxed, stretched out, that was allowed the fulfill of ventricles before the ventricles are contracted. If they well relaxed means the more blood can be deposited. If they are less relaxed means the less blood can be deposited in the ventricles from the atria. So that's why the cardiac output is decreases. So that's why, so whatever the degree of stretch or relaxation's property of the cardiac muscle before contractions of the ventricle, so that was known as a preload. Okay, so as the preload increases, the stroke volume is also increases, then the cardiac output is also increases. Okay, so like that, the relaxation property before the contractions of ventricle, that was also can improve or to decrease the cardiac output as well as the stroke volume. So next one is the afterload. So afterload, it is also known as the resistance. Okay, that is resistance of the muscles of ventricle. That is nothing but the pressure was generated before contractions. Okay, so pressure was generated before the ejections of the blood from the ventricle. So that was known as the afterload. So that is also reflects on the stroke volume and cardiac output. So already you know in the right ventricle the pressure is around, that is a 25 mmHg. So that can allows the contractions of the right ventricle. But regarding the left ventricle, the pressure is around 130 mmHg. So that can allows the contractions of ventricle, then the blood can enters in the artery regarding the oxygenated blood. So that pressure before the contraction or generations or amount of pressure before the contractions of ventricle, so that was known as the afterload. So as the pressure is normal, then the stroke volume is healthy or normal and cardiac output is also normal. If the pressure is more, then sometimes the stroke volume increases and sometimes the stroke volume is decreases. If the pressure is decreases, then there is no powerful contraction. Then the blood cannot be ejected from the ventricle to the respective artery. So due to that, the stroke volume is decreases and as well as the cardiac output is also decreased. So that's why the stroke volume is equal to, there is the EDV, that is the end diastolic volume, as well as the ESV. Okay, that is the afterload. So that's why the cardiac output is calculated by heart rate into a stroke volume. So this is regarding the various factors so that can determine the cardiac output, or our cardiac output is depending upon the various factors. So when you are suffering from the any disorder means any one of the factors abnormally work or abnormally function. So do that only, so our cardiac output can be altered. So next one we learn regarding the cardiac cycles and heart sounds. So cardiac cycle nothing but series of the events. So study of series of events that occurs in the each beat. Okay, so due to closing and opening of the various wall, certain heart sounds are produced regarding lub and dub. So those are known as the heart sounds. So in our heart, totally the four sounds are produced. One, the closing of the atrioventricular wall. Another is the closing of semilunar wall. Then rapidly entry of the blood. So like that, totally in our heart, the four heart sounds are produced, but clinically only two sounds are important. That was the lub and dub. So like that, the cardiac cycle, it is the study of the series of events, so that was taken place during the each beat. So that was known as the cardiac cycles. So now we learn regarding the definition. The cardiac cycle is defined as the series of events which takes place during each beat. Okay, so each heartbeat, it consists of major two periods called systole, that is the contractions of the cardiac muscle. It was helpful for the pumping of the blood to the respective chamber or into the arteries. Okay, the contraction period of the cardiac muscle was known as the systolic period of the cardiac muscles or myocardium. So that is the one event of the cardiac cycles or one event in the heartbeat. The next one is the diastole, that is the relaxations of the cardiac muscles. Complete relaxation. So that relaxation is helpful for the filling of the blood to the respective chamber. Okay, relaxations of the muscles that can allow the filling of the blood in the respective chamber. So that period was known as a diastole, nothing but relaxations of the cardiac muscle, and systole, that is nothing but the contractions of the cardiac muscle that was helpful for to create the pressure on the blood as well as pumping of the blood to the next respective chamber as well as the artery. So these are the main major two events. So that was present in the each beat. For few seconds, the heart can be contracted about around, that is the point, that is 2-3 second, I think, at 2-7 second. Sorry, that is a 0.27 second for the heart is present on systole condition, and 0.53 second the heart is present under the diastole conditions. Okay, so these events period of divisions of the cardiac cycle is also classified into four. There is the arterial systole, there is the contractions of the arteria. It is helpful for pump the blood from artery to the ventricle. Then arterial diastole, relaxations of the atria muscle or muscles present in the atrium, both left as well as the right. Okay, so that is helpful for filling up the atrium. So next one is the ventricular systole, the contractions of the ventricle that is helpful for to pump the blood from ventricle to the respective arteries. Then ventricular diastole, it is the relaxations of the ventricle muscles or ventricles. Okay, both left as well as right. It is helpful for the filling of the ventricle. So like that, so cardiac cycle, it mainly having the four events or divisions: the arterial systole, arterial diastole related to the atrium, and ventricular systole and ventricular diastole that was related to the contraction relaxations of the ventricles. But clinically practice, so what the doctor, so they are written the systole that can refers to the ventricular systole, not a arterial systole. Okay, so doctors, so they referred or clinical in the practice, the systole means that can reflect to the ventricular systole, and a diastole it can refers to the ventricular diastole because it is the most important event. Okay, it is helpful for pumping up the blood. So here the systole which can refers to the ventricular systole by clinical practice, as well as the diastole which can refers the ventricular diastole. So like that, the cardiac cycle, it is having only two divisions. One is the systole that reflected to the ventricular systole, and another is the diastole, so that was related to the ventricular diastole or ventricular relaxations. So regarding the normal healthy person, so the person will be having the 72 beats per minute, and the durations of each beat is around zero point 0.8 second, and systole, that is the the ventricle, so they are contracted for 0.27 second, or the durations of systoles in the ventricle is a 0.27 second, and the diastole durations in the ventricle that should be the 0.53, so that easily you can note it in the here. So regarding the ventricle, so diastole is here 1, then here is the 1 2 3 4 4 plus 1, that is a 5 nearly, that is a 0.5 second. Then systole, that is a 1 2 3, that is nearly 2, that is a 0.27 approximately, that is a 3.3 second. Okay, and here the systoles of atria, it can merge with the diastoles of ventricle, and diastoles of atria, it can merge with the both systole as well as the diastoles of the ventricle. So that's why the clinically we are consider only the systole is refers to the ventricular contraction, and diastoles which can refers to the ventricular relaxation, so that an average time is a 0.8 second. Among 0.27 second is the systolic condition, and 0.53 second is the diastolic conditions. Okay, so here the systole and diastolic conditions of the cardiac cycles are beat. So once again, so they are subdivided into various. So regarding the systoles of ventricle, it will be having the two phase. One is the isometric contraction. It indicates the contractions of the ventricles. Okay, where the size of the ventricle was altered, they was the contracted. Okay, then as well as the tension in the ventricle is increases. Then second phase of the systole is a ejection period. It indicates the blood can pump from the ventricles. Okay, so like that, the ventricular systole, it will be having the two phase, and regarding the ventricular diastole, it will be having the five phases, that is the prodiastole, isometric relaxations, rapid filling, slow filling, last rapid filling, or that was also known as a atrial systole. So atrial systole, it can merge with the last phase of the diastoles of the ventricle. The last phase of the ventricle diastole is a last rapid filling. So that is also the period of the atrial systole. That period is for 0.11 seconds. So these are the various phases of the cardiac cycle. So it is mainly divided into two phase, systole and diastole. And systole, once again, it is having the two phase, that is isometric contraction, ejection period, and diastole, it will be having the five phases: prodiastole, isometric relaxation, rapid filling, slow filling, last rapid filling, or atrial systoles. So now we learn one by one. So first one is we start with the atrial systole. So that duration of the atrial systole is 0.11 second. It is also known as the second or last rapid filling or pre-systole of the ventricles. And here regarding the arterials, it is the arterial systoles. So here that is the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve are open, and pulmonary valve and aortic valve, so they are closed. So during the arterial systole, so that can allow the entry of the blood regarding the 10%. Okay, 10% of the blood from artery to ventricle that can be entered. So during the arterial systoles, during this period, the mitral valve and as well as tricuspid valves are open, and regarding the aortic valve and pulmonary valve, so they are the closed, and only the 10% of blood so that can enters in the ventricle from the respective atria. So after that, that is the systoles of the ventricle, it have divided into two phases, that is isometric contraction and ejection period. So isometric contraction, it is the first phase of the systoles of the ventricle or contractions of the ventricle muscle, and the duration is a 0.05 second. So that can start with the arterial systole, that is the contractions of the atria. So that is helpful for to pump the blood from artery to the ventricle. It is also known as the second or last rapid filling phase of the diastole of the ventricles, or also known as the pre-systole of the ventricles. Okay, so it is the also considered as last phase of the ventricular diastole, and its phase is remain for 0.11 second. The arterial muscles are contracted. Okay, so around 10% of the blood that can pump by atria to the respective ventricles. Okay, so here during this period, the mitral valve, that is the bicuspid valve and tricuspid valves are already open. It means it can only allow the entry of blood from artery to the ventricles, and here aortic valves and pulmonary valves are closed. It means it cannot be allow the pump the blood from ventricle to the respective arteries. Only this period, the 10% of blood from arteria, so that enters into the ventricles. From the ventricles, so that blood cannot pump to the respective arteries, because already the artery, that is aortic valve and pulmonary valve are closed, but the mitral valve, that is the bicuspid valve and the tricuspid valve was open. So during the okay, so that's why, so in the arterial systoles or last phase of the ventricular diastole, only 10% of blood can be filled or enter from artery to the ventricle due to opening of bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve, and there is no ejected blood from the ventricle to respective artery due to closing of the, that is the aortic valve as well as the pulmonary valves. So next one, that is the isometric contraction period. It is the first phase of the ventricular systole, and the duration of this phase is a 0.5 second. So for 0.5 second, the ventricle muscles are contracted. Our tension in the ventricle muscles is increases, but so there is no change in the muscle length. Okay, so dear students, so during the asymmetric contraction period of the ventricular systole, so that was the duration is 0.05 second. During this period, the muscles are contracted. Our tension in the muscle was increases, but thus length or the size of the muscle do not changes. And this period is immediately after the atrial systole and remain for 0.5 second. Okay, so due to contractions of the ventricles, the pressure in the ventricle is increases. So in the right ventricle, so that should be 25 mm Sg. In the left ventricle, so that pressure should be around 130 mm Sg. So during the isometric contraction, that was for 0.5 second, so where the pressure in the ventricles was increases due to contractions of the muscles or increase the tension in muscles without any change in the muscle length. So that was responsible for to close the atrioventricular wall, because in the arterial systole the mitral wall, the bicuspid wall and tricuspid wall are open, so that can allow the entry of blood from artery to the ventricles. But during this first phase of systoles of ventricles, there is isometric contraction, so where the tension in the ventricles was increases, so that increased pressure in the ventricles. Okay, so in the right ventricle that should be 25 mm Sg, in the left ventricle that should be 130 mm Sg. So that pressure is responsible for closing of the atrioventricular wall or tricuspid wall and as well as the bicuspid wall. And already the aortic wall and the pulmonary walls are closed, or the semilunar wall are already closed, but only the tricuspid wall and the bicuspid wall, so they are closed due to increase the pressure in the ventricle. So due to closing of tricuspid wall and as well as the bicuspid wall, the first heart sound is produces, that is the love. Okay, your first heart sound in your heart was produced due to closing of the tricuspid wall and bicuspid wall due to increase the pressure in the ventricles. Okay, that was produced due to close of the atrioventricular wall, that is nothing but tricuspid wall and bicuspid wall. So where the first heart sound was produced in the isometric contraction phase systoles of the ventricle. So after that the that is the ventricles, so they are entering the second phase, that was known as the ejection period, is also known as the rapid ejections. Okay, so durations of this phase is about 0.22 second. For 0.22 second the ventricle, so they are follow the rapid ejection period or ejection periods. Okay, so here in the ventricles the blood can deposited around 130 ml and pressure is reaches in respective ventricle, that is the 25 by 130 ml, that is in the right ventricle, that is the 25 mmSg, in the left ventricle that is the 130 mmSg. So due to increase that pressure, so here the semilunar wall, that is nothing but aortic wall as well as the pulmonary valve is open. Okay, so during the 0.2 second, so due to increase the pressure in the respective ventricle, so that was responsible for opening of the semilunar wall, nothing but that is the pulmonary wall as well as the aortic wall. So that can allow the entry of the blood from ventricle to the respective arteries. Okay, for 0.2 second, so that is approximately, that is 70 ml per isometric contraction per ejection period. Only around 70 ml of the blood from ventricle to the arteries, that is the pulmonary artery as well as the arc of aorta, so that blood can be enter for 0.22 second, and that period of the ventricle systole was known as the ejection period or rapid ejections. This is occurred due to opening of the pulmonary wall or opening of the aortic wall due to increase the pressures in the ventricles. So that was for 0.2 seconds. So after that So the blood, so like that, so the ventricular systole, so it is having two phase, isometric contractions, that is for 0.05 second, and ejection period, that is for 0.22 second. The total is 0.27 second. It means the ventricles are contracted for 0.27 second. It is helpful for to pump the blood from the ventricles. Okay, so now we learn regarding the diastoles. That is the first phase of the ventricular diastole is the protodiastoles. Okay, so it is also known as the reduced ejections. The durations of the protodiastole is the 0.04 second. It is also considered as the first phase of the ventricular relaxations. So during this phase, the blood in the pulmonary arteries and the aortic artery was increases. So due to increase the pressure in the pulmonary artery and alveolar artery, so that was causes the closing of the semilunar wall. That is the pulmonary wall and as well as the aortic walls are closes. So the closing of semilunar wall, the second heart sound, that is the dub, is produced during the protodiastole due to closing of the semilunar wall. So next, the phase is isometric relaxation. The durations of the isometric relaxations is that is 0.08 seconds. So during this period, the ventricle muscles are completely relaxed. So due to that, so there is no exchange of the any kind of blood can be taken place. Okay, and already so all the wall, so they are closed during the isometric relaxation 0.08 second. So next phase is known as the rapid filling, and its the duration is 0.0 that is 0.11 second. So here the AV walls are open. So due to opening of AV wall, so the rapidly blood can enter into the ventricles. So about the 70% of ventricles, so they are filled, or the 70% of blood from artery to the ventricles are entered during the rapid filling. Okay, the duration is 0.11 second. So due to opening of AV wall or rapidly enter of the blood into the ventricles from the atrium, so here the third heart sound can be produced. Okay, so next one is the slow filling. The durations of slow filling is the 0.19 second. So during this period, so the 20% of the ventricles are filled, and this phase is also known as diastasis. Okay, the duration is 0.19 second. Next one is the last rapid filling, or it is also known as already atrial systole. The durations of this phase is that is 0.11 second, and here the remaining 10%, so that was filled in the during this period. Okay, so here the AV valves are open and semilunar valves are already closed. So here the fourth heart sound can be produced. First sound is produced here, that is due to opening of the atrioventricular wall, that is closing of atrioventricular wall. Then second sound here produces due to closing of semilunar wall in the prodiastole, and third in during the rapid filling, rapidly entry of the blood from artery into ventricle, and in the last atrial systole during the contractions of arterial muscle, the fourth heart sound can be produced. Okay, so like that the heart will be produced, our heart will be produces the fourth sound along with the lub and dub. Regarding the ventricular filling, the 70% of the ventricles, so they are filled during the rapid filling, and 20% that was filled during the slow filling, and the remaining 10% that was filled during the last rapid filling are atrial systole. So like that, so the each bit, so they will be having the series of event, that is the systole, diastole, systole regarding to having two phase, Isometric contraction, ejection period, then diastole having 5 phases, pro-diastole, isometric relaxation, rapid filling, slow filling, last rapid filling are also known as the atrial systole.